They're two, they're four, they're six, they're eight, shunting trucks and hauling freight, red and green and brown and blue. They're the really useful crew, all with different roles to play around in the shed so far away, down the hills and round the bends. Thomas and his friends. Thomas, he's the cheeky one. James, he's fame but lots of fun. Percy pulls the rail on time. Gordon thunders down the line. Emily really knows her stuff. Henry toots and huffs and puffs. Edward wants to help and share. Toby, well, let's just say he's square. They're two, they're four, they're six, they're eight, shunting trucks and hauling freight, red and green and brown and blue. They're the really useful crew, all with different roles to play around in the shed so far away, down the hills and round the bends. Thomas and his friends. They're two, they're four, they're six, they're eight, shunting trucks and hauling freight, red and green and brown and blue. They're the really useful crew, all with different roles to play around in the shed so far away, down the hills and round the bends. Thomas and his friends. Saving Terence. Diesel 10 is a BR Class 42 warship diesel with a non-regulation hydraulic claw. He works with Diesel collecting scrap from alongside the tracks and taking them to the scrapyard. The scrapyard is full of rusty old parts and machinery. They are broken into pieces, loaded into cars, and Iron Arry and Iron Bird take them to the steelworks where they are melted down and used again for other things. Today, Diesel 10 and Diesel are collecting scrap from alongside the main line. They have to collect the scrap metal left by the tracks and take them to the scrapyard. The scrapyard was scheduled to close around sunset in the evening. Diesel 10 and Diesel had to get the scrap to the scrapyard before then. But the load of scrap was very heavy. So Diesel pulled the cars as hard as he could with Diesel 10 behind him. He pulled so hard, his connecting rods broke. They were a few yards towards the scrapyard and can go no further. Grease and oil! My connecting rods! I can't move! Don't worry, Diesel. I'll try to push you and the cars into the scrapyard. And Diesel 10 did. The workmen cheered. Diesel 10 was pleased. But Diesel was upset that his connecting rods are broken. Luckily, Stanley, the silver saddle tank engine, was sent to help Diesel.
Don't worry, Diesel. I'll shut you to the diesel works so you can be repaired.
Thanks, Stanley.
My pleasure.
At last, Stanley arrived at the diesel works in Vickerstown. Den and Dart were there. Den and Dart are the two new diesel engines that had just arrived on the island. Den is a big hydraulic diesel engine, and Dart is a small shunter. They work together at the diesel works. Hello, what do we have here?
Diesel has broken his connecting rods. They need to be repaired with new ones.
Not to worry, Diesel. We will have new connecting rods for you as soon as we can. Thanks. Whoever are you two? Oh, I'm Den. I'm Dart.
Nice to meet you, Den. Dart, I'm Stanley.
Just then, Diesel 10 arrived. Behind him was Hero. Sir Topham Hatt was on board. Stanley, I have an important job for you. You are to work with Diesel 10 while Diesel is being repaired. You are to collect trackside scrap and take them to the scrapyard before it closes around sunset. The main line must be cleared for the other engines to pass.
Yes, sir! I'll get to it, sir!
So Stanley set out with Diesel 10 to collect the scrap that had been left by the tracks. Every time when they encounter some workmen making repairs to the track, they have a pile of scrap metal for Diesel 10 to load into the cars. Shortly afterward, Stanley and Diesel 10 came across some more track repairs and another pile of scrap for the scrapyard. Soon the pile of scrap was loaded up, and Stanley and Diesel 10 continued on down the line. Then, when they arrived at the farm, next to another pile of scrap was a surprise for Stanley. It was a crawler tractor.
Hey, you're not broken or rusty. What are you doing here?
I'm Terence. They're gonna sell me for scrap metal this week.
Well, that's a shame.
The farmer says I only need paint, polish, and fuel checking to be as good as new. But I feel like I'm old-fashioned.
What kind of work do you do best?
Will I do that much sort of work? I plow fields for the farmer to plant the seeds, and I bring trees and flowers to the farmer's garden in the spring. I often help the farmer bring wood to a shelter next to his house. He stores the wood to build a fire to keep him, his house, and even me toasty warm in the winter. Ah, yes. Good times. Good times.
Okay, Stanley, that's the next pile of scrap loaded. Off we go.
Oh, okay, Diesel 10. Bye, Terence. Sell for scrap, what a shame. Sell for scrap, what a shame. I must help Terence. I must.
Stanley thought of everyone who liked trains, but none would strangely have room at home for a tractor like Terence.
It's a shame. It's a shame.
Then Stanley thought of an idea in his boiler.
I had done it before, but it ended up wrong. I'll do my best, and this time, I'll make it right.
After he delivered the scrap cars to the scrapyard, Stanley went to look for Thomas, Percy, and Toby. He found the three engines chattering in the shunting yard at Marin.
Hello, Stanley. You look worried. Is something wrong?
There's a tractor at the farm, Toby. He'll be sold for scrap metal this week.
Oh no, that's terrible.
Unthinkable.
And that is why I come here to ask the three of you to help save him before tomorrow.
No way! I am not helping you if you're gonna get me, including Toby and Percy, in trouble.
Please, Thomas. Terence needs our help. And before you ask, he plows fields and brings trees, flowers, and firewood to the farmer.
I don't know. I don't think we should...
Oh, come on, Thomas.
Oh. I'm gonna have to help him, am I?
Yes, you are.
Fine.
Hooray!
That night, Thomas, Percy, Toby, and Stanley puffed to the farm. Terence was there and already asleep.
Psst! Terence! Terence, wake up!
Stanley? What are you and those three engines doing here?
Shh! Saving you from scrap, of course! Come on, let's get you away from here!
Before Terence could say anything, he was up and aboard the flatbed. The engine steamed away from the farm, all the way to the Sodor Steamworks.
You'll be safe here, Terence!
Thank you, Stanley, but you don't have to do this. The farmer will be wondering what happened to me when he finds out I'm missing by tomorrow. And then I'll be taken to be scrapped for good.
No, you won't. I won't let that happen to you. No one will take you to be scrapped. Trust me.
The next morning, Diesel came back from the diesel works. He looked as good as new. Diesel 10 was so pleased to see him. Diesel! Welcome back! Diesel beamed happily. Stanley went to the steamworks to find Terence again. But then there was trouble. Terence was still there when Stanley arrived. Thomas was there too, and with him was Sir Topham Hatt.
Oh no! What will he say?
Hello, Stanley. Come here, please.
How did you know I was coming here, sir?
When Thomas told me all about what you, he, Percy, and Toby were doing last night, he asked me for my permission if Terence would be restored. And I must say, I think it's a wonderful idea. But you, Stanley, should have been the one to ask me first after working with Diesel 10 yesterday.
So, Terence is not gonna be scrapped, sir?
No, Stanley, he isn't. And when you're fully restored, Terence, you'll be living with the farmer on Thomas's branch line.
Thank you, sir. It will be just like in the old days.
Now Terence is as happy as can be. He has a new farmer to take care of him, and he sees Thomas, Percy, Toby, and Stanley every day. He plows the field for the farmer to plant his seeds. He brings trees and flowers to the farmer's garden, and firewood to the shed for the farmer to keep him, Terence, and the farmer's house nice and warm. Now, that night, as he rests in his shed, Terence made a wish on a star in the sky, wishing he could thank Stanley for helping him. By tomorrow, his wish will come true.